This is definitely the best way to make money. Just walking around on the ocean. I was able to catch a 90-inch tuna, recycled by traffickers. It's worth $22 a pound. They just went out and had a little sex. I made over 8 grand. Then I'm as tired as a dog at work. What the hell is it? After several days of work, the gap is already stark. The money that comes in first place. That's over 6,000 more than I ended up with. It was a little after 4 in the morning. Captain Taylor is setting up bait. Since he was here last time, caught a huge tuna. Make him think that in these waters, it's going to be a big payoff. That would take him down the rankings, right up to the top. This guy seems to have a bit of a brain. I can't believe I came here alone. Stay away from the top teams, so they can't be with themselves. Snatch the few fish, with the sky bright. Other teams set off. OTT also set out with his teammates, because now he's in 3rd place. Put them in a very awkward position, but instead it aroused their passion. After a few hours, Bob's team, we also reached the spot where we wanted to go fishing. But they're not the only ship. In 2 boats, Paul and Otter. Although we are a competitive relationship, but they can also provide information to each other. Suddenly, he received a message from Mike. Not far from them, a school of tuna appears. But Mike lied to him about it. There are only sand eels in that area. They went somewhere else. I didn't know these people were so bad. Not for long. Bob also sailed the boat to its destination. Watch their movements. It was obvious that Bob believed Mike. Suddenly, their lines went wild. The crew quickly set to work, and he shared the news. This makes the other 2 envious. After their operation, not only did the line not stop going out, it's only getting worse. This made Bob a little nervous. I'm afraid of the fish that just took the bait. The turning head was lost by accident, but in the hands of an old man like Johnny. It keeps going back. Looks like the ship's got a treasure trove. Then a javelin flew out. The tuna was successfully hit, but when the crew recovered, but there was nothing on it. This Bob is so angry that he keeps talking dirty. But as a captain, he can't just curse there. Soon his mood eased. The crowd went through 10 minutes of pulling. Pull the tuna out again, with the javelin flying out again. But to be on the safe side, Bob shot him too, and tied his tail. They have since succeeded in harvesting their first fish. 20 minutes after the bait was dropped, Bob got the word out again. This put Mike in an awkward position. I didn't realize there were actually fish there, especially when Bob thanked him. The fish really hit him in the face. The tuna measured 92 inches. Paul's team in the distance. And the decoys are being laid, even though he and Bob are in the same water. But they come here. It costs a lot of gas money. This is for Paul. It's a huge gamble. After all, their harvest is okay so far. But if it fails here, the money that was earned up front, it will run out. So he's trying to increase his bait rate. They put iron on the bait. This will keep the fish in the water. Can't be torn apart by ocean currents. Suddenly, there was a noise from his machine. That's when the fishing line starts going out. Lance quickly stepped in to take control. Then Paul moved the rod to the stern. After Lance was reconnected, it was a face of excitement. But there's something strange about this tuna, though they keep pulling the line away, but not very fast. This got Paul and Lance curious. It feels like it's playing with these 2. More than 20 minutes later, the 2 also rotated several times. It was successfully brought to the surface. Paul quickly picked up the javelin. I just hit it right at the fish, although I missed the first time. But the second shot worked. Looks like he just got seasick. That's a long time to do this job. How is this possible? After successfully controlling the third, Paul immediately began to show off. It made old rival Dave mad. As the tuna cools down, they measured it right away. It's only 85 inches, but it's also a good gain. Let's look at Bob again. He brought his own harvest to Bubba's buyer. Want to know how much it's worth? Just look at the meat at the core. An unwanted fishtail meat. If the fish is clear and rich in fat, weighed by Bubba, tuna weighs 345 pounds. This is very good news for Bob. Now we need to determine the quality of the fish. There's a little too much fat on it, but the color of the fish is very good. This made Bob very nervous. Good thing Bubba's a nice guy. I gave them $17 apiece. Just let Bob get mad. 5,865 yuan. It's good money to make. 10 minutes later, Paul. And here we are with Bubba. And now the process is exactly the same. Remove the flesh from the core and tail, and measured the weight of the tuna. After Bubba came to their boat, also observed in front of 2 people. I have to say it's fish. Better looking than Bob's, and less fat than the last one. Then comes the tightest pricing, with Bubba finally settling at $18. They were very excited. This is their highest price of the season. And Dave's team, there now. It's been a long time. This worried Dave. Decided to move 15 miles away, although he could have gone to Bob's part of the ocean. But this guy's a little stubborn. I just wanted to do it here. Don't trust other people's news, although they may lie. But if I do catch a fish, you will tell it too. That's a good guide. It feels like Dave keeps doing this. I might not get anything today. No, I'm not finished yet. You'll have something to eat. The crowd immediately began to move, although it cannot stop the speed of the fishing line out. But he kept recycling, still able to waste his strength. As long as you don't take it off. Oh no, I think I did. Jason just left for a second. The line is broken by the fish below. Don't look like Captain Dave's calm right now. But in fact, his anger was already high. Sure enough, he made them work all night. Taylor here, after a long wait. No fish ever took the bait. This made Taylor very worried. So I decided to change my position. An ocean close to home. I feel like he just wants to get home early. Don't look at what he's saying over there. Why? Must be getting up too early in the morning. I want to go to bed early tonight. The OTT team hasn't been good at it yet. It made him very uncomfortable. After all, the other teams are here. All successfully caught tuna. He's the only one left. Has been sailing in negative equity. Still, he's confident in himself. Think this situation is short-lived. It won't last forever. Let's hope he keeps it up. Jack also came to OTT's waters. I thought he didn't like being here. How did you end up here again? Looks like the tuna was in here. Let now poor jingle him. Come here again to try. No one in the world can resist the temptation of money. This is his machine, finding lots of fish under the water. After many times I checked, this is the tendency for tuna to take the bait. At this point, the fishing line also began to run wildly. Jack quickly stepped forward to save it. His crew put on gloves. He rushed to help. Jack got a break too, but he dared not rest. After getting the gear, the crew was immediately replaced. Let control the direction of the ship, so the tuna don't get to the bottom of the boat and break the line. It's just that he took a little too fast. But this Nick is awesome too, just sitting there pulling. I guess I found a way to take a break, although it's a little easier with this trick. But his face did not change. Got the line back a little at a time. I was pulled back by it. Good thing Nick is skilled. After being able to fight each other for a while, it managed to pull it to the surface. Jack is also constantly looking for opportunities on the side. I'll get it right in. Nick quickly abandoned the fishing rod, pick up the rope, and pull off the tail. After all, it's the only guarantee. I won't lose this new prize. After waiting for a while, together, they pulled him into the boat. It measures 91 inches. This makes Nick happy. I beat my chest and screamed. After harvesting this tuna, I immediately went to the buyer's office. Rick quickly asked how was the harvest. Jack just smiled mysteriously. He didn't say anything about it. Start sampling them immediately and weigh it. I have to say it worked out pretty well. And they're fish fat. It looks pretty good. The color is also like a cherry, but there's still a slight flaw. Can only give the price to 18, but also made Jack over 4 grand. It only took half a day. Makes me want to go tuna fishing now. OTT feels worse for you now. Everyone's fishing here. They were all in stock yesterday, and it's like he's on vacation. Came out for a walk. It made him anxious, especially the success of those few. Makes him feel like one. We all agreed to be bad together, and all of a sudden you're good. Then Mike suddenly realized there's something 150 miles under the water. OTT quickly lowered the line. Sure enough, it took a while. Then something bit me. Jarrett quickly picked up her gloves and moved the rod one position. It's just that this fish seems to have some power. To put such a strong man, dry and bloodshot, I didn't know he was in this state. How long can it last? After all, he's kind of like the game's blaster. There's always a time limit. probably thinking about the dolls at home. I can't believe I made him work for half a day. Not only are there signs of a lull, it even brought Tuna to the surface. Otter is about to get his chance. I'm not watching anymore, with the rope successfully appearing on the fish's tail. Several people also got a fish, not just a couple of friends. The worst exists. This fish is also very saving face. Turned over on the way up. Look at this 90-inch fish. That's too much excitement to say. Taylor still hasn't gotten anything. I don't know if it's too bad. Used Tuna favorites mackerel and herring. Nothing has changed. Maybe it's a different taste now. I don't even care about it anymore. While they're still there complaining, the machine suddenly began to beep. That's clearly the sound of a delivery. Sure enough, the fishing rod began to bend. Taylor rushed up, but this fish looks a little bad. To the other side of the boat. This forced him to change the position of his fishing rod. But it hasn't been that long. There's a crab pot up ahead. This made the two people panic. Those cages have ropes on them. If this tuna gets away with it, that's going to get tangled up. This will make the two of you work ahead. It's all useless. Good thing the fish didn't pass. Marissa hurried back to the line. But it takes patience to do this. You have to keep pulling with it to have a chance of winning. Tyler was able to harvest it. It's also a way to cheer up. Just don't do it again. I don't know what to say to Marissa. She pulled again after a while. Taylor also stepped in to make the substitution. Looks like the fish is getting tired. That's when he took over and pulled it to the surface. Not even a javelin. He just tied his tail to it. Looks like Marissa's technique. Still better than Tyler. After measuring this as a bar, nearly 100 inches of tuna. It was an unexpected bonus. Bubba also sees OTT. Looks like they're selling it too. The most exciting moment. It's coming soon. After some weighing, I started looking at the meat quality. Under Bubba's careful observation and touch, I'm sure the fish is good fat growth. You could say it was perfect. The next thing is color. That looks good too. Bubba's offer was a very happy one. It's just $22. You can see this fish is really good. Otherwise, they won't make any money. That's $8,250 when the time comes to evening. The two tailors out there and found a buyer for tuna. Dennis was very quick. After learning about body length, I got to work right away. Just don't know on this night. I wonder if I can see the meat. But look at the flashlight. Still very serious. Not a lot of fat, though. But the meat is still very good. If the fat wasn't off a bit, I'm not going to give you $16. But this $6,528 harvest, it's also very good. Well, that's all for this program. Give it a thumbs up, and let's look forward to the next episode.